pointer to the previous block. And then there's like a payload. Payload means the transactions. And also there's something called nonce, okay, solutions. So we give a name for this. It's called a puzzle. This is a puzzle. And all students or all miners in the world, they are trying to find a solution to the puzzle. Okay. So this part is defined because it's a pointer to previous things. And the payload is, can also be defined. But this part is not easy. Okay. So it's a small number of nonce. And those people or the student in the room, they're trying to find the nonce. And here is a hash function. It's a magic cryptographic tool. It's very simple but very powerful. The problem is that this is a function, but the output is not predictable. It's unpredictable. And the only way to go to understand the output is that you have to compute the function. Okay. So that means to identify the nonce, the only way to go is to try.
Iterate, right?
Yeah.
There's one.
Brutals.
Is one is the answer? No.
Yeah.
Is two is the answer? No. Is three is the answer? No. Four? No.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. True. Okay. So yeah, until you hit that. So I mean, intuitively, once you have more computing power, your chance to identify the nonce is bigger.
Oh, so you said it's trial and error?
yep, it's right. It's all it is. Try and error, and that's why you need computing power. So the more computers you have, and the faster they do try and error, the faster you.
Well, it seems like,
That's all it is.
well, okay. Because when I'm thinking about, when you think about trial and error, you're talking about developing and programming. That's insane. You don't write software on trial and error. It has to have a stated outcome. And if you're going to do if you're going to have a solution, it should be pointed to the mathematical process, not so much. Nope. But that's going to have to change.
No. But think of this as it's a root of function, right? So the function crosses zero at some point, and we're just trying to find where does it cross zero. And the way you're finding it is because you don't have like algebra, so all
you don't have it.
All you can do is you need to do one at a time to find a zero.
Also,
But they are finding zero. Like it's a solution. Like
Right.
It's not like it's a random thing.
So,
Yeah.
So my mind, what I'm thinking is that generally anytime you have this, right, there should be a mathematical solution to
It
this.
does not exist. That's the beauty of it. That's why it's magical.
Not yet, maybe. Is that what it is?
Well, but maybe there's always possibility of future mathematics that will solve it, and then
Yeah.
this whole thing will go away.
But anyway,
But
so
not yet.
so we need a good hash function. Maybe some smart people in the future can break some like hash function
Yeah, exactly.
in the Bitcoin. Could be, right?
Yeah.
Does the
But-
hash function could be solved or find a solution in the
There was right like MD5, right?
problem?
Yeah.
It's like MD5, right? So here we use SHA-2, right?
People will find another function.
Yeah.
You
People
just
will do a
replace
hard fork.
one with another one, and that's it.
Yeah. People will do a hard fork and try to fix this.
And so if someone finds that particular function or solves that problem, that means money to them. Because they solved the
Even
problem.
they can hide it.
And faster, right?
No, but then everyone will see that one person gets the coins again and again and again, and they know he doesn't have enough computing power to do that, and that's how everyone will know, oh, he solved mathematical problem. He's not doing it our way.
But he's making good money now.
Yeah.
Well, for a short period of time.
For shorter time, yeah.
And
For
until
shorter time,
everyone like, oh, we need to find another one.
yeah. Exactly.
But yes, for a short period of time, you'll make
Yeah,
money.
because the system is kind of adaptive, right? Because the human are actually involved. This system is not like purely like a computer system, right? So then, I think some people notice this and all talk about this. Oh, this is like this website always got a solution, right? There's a big chance. What happened? Some people, maybe NSA, identify some bug in SHA-2, right? They find a better way. And
Exactly.
people have, we're not stupid, right? So people will think about that.
So
Anyway.
all the miners in this thing, there is association, and they meet, the program, they talk to each other.
Yeah. So let's do not go to like a lot of like real world issues, because this is a real world system, right? We can ask many questions. Let's focus on like simple stuff. Okay, let's try to live with some like idealized, non-realistic solution. Okay, right? It's a real world. So I just want to keep the discussion much simpler. So here we assume this Hashi function is a magic stuff, cryptographic stuff. So the output is not predictable. Right? So then you can put a target value, right? So that real world is people put a lot of zeros, right? Right. If this value is less than certain number, which means there this the output will with many zeros, okay, then if you can hit this, if you can hit a nonce, so that this equation inequality can be satisfied, then you got a chance. If you are the first person in the world to identify the nonce, you will release that. And the nice part of Hashi function is that it's hard to identify nonce, but it's very easy to check. Once someone identifies the nonce, it's trivial for you to verify the nonce is valid or invalid. Right? It's unbalanced, you know. Right.
So again, it's sort of like root of function, right? So it's a root of equation, right? As long as I know the number, let's say 121, then the function value should be equal to 0. And you gave me 121, I can see it's 0 right away.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. But okay. Let's do not go to a lot of detail. But this is better.
No.
I will not go to there's there will leak other stuff. You know, people can find a better way to identify that if you use this scroll rule. Okay, so that's like proof work. So the technology is simple as this, right? It's just the computation system, and the people like sit in the room, they keep silent, okay? But they work very hard locally. All students in the room, they work very hard. They try to find a solution, but the room is very quiet. Then about 10 minutes, one student will say, "Oh, I identified the solution," right? And you guys will quickly check that, because checking the solution is trivial. Then you guys will go to the next round, okay? Because this is a pointer, right? So the pointer to the previous, once the block is defined, then we automatically move to the next round of hard problem. So you guys will work on the hard problem again. Okay.
So if I find a solution, the others are trying to see if I'm correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How many would try and do that?
All people can will do. It's easy. It's trivial. Because checking.
No, I think the question is, so for you to get the coin, how many people need to verify
Validate.
that you solved?
Oh, so that's a good question, right? That be basically like I will turn to that.
Okay.
Yeah. That's basically like the longest chain. Okay. I will turn to that. Yeah. So far, you can imagine all people work very hard and the room very quiet. Okay. Right. And why Nakamoto? I mean, Nakamoto is the inventor of the Bitcoin. So why he designed, or I don't know, he or she or they.
CIA.
So CIA it.
Yeah.
So anyway, so the choice of like 10 minutes is a smart choice. It's a magic choice. So that's important. If we go time window is too short, okay. Basically, we can tune this t, right? We can make this much simpler, right? We can make this t very big, very big. Let's say with a 0 lead this, right? So that means they're very fast because the probability is chance 1/2, right? So you try that with 1/2 probability. So all people say, oh, the room is like very crowded, you know, very noisy. So all people say, oh, I found the solution, right? So then how to order that, right? The main point is to order the transaction, right? So we can do transaction order the transaction block by block, right? So that way it's not easy to order the transaction, the intuition. And it's not easy so in our language, it's not easy to prove the security. And people can even show that. So it will be dangerous. So the system won't be secure. Okay, so then you will ask me, what is the security of Bitcoin's blockchain, right? So here we need to turn to, I cannot give like a cryptographic definition. It's very like need some training. So people here are suffering, citizens are suffering. Okay, you are also suffering, right? So it's like a definition is very complicated. I guess it's the same for economics. I just want to bring out some intuition. Okay. So that's one thing. A policy in Bitcoin is the long chain is the base chain policy. Okay. So that means, or the most difficult chain is the base chain policy. So all the people, miners, users, they will believe this. This building is like a hard code. So people follow this policy. And so then return your question, right? So once let's say I identify a solution, right? Okay. So if the entire world they hate me, okay, for example, they hate me. Oh, this is a bad guy. Okay, this is from bad side. Okay, right, hate me. So they will still ignore my solution. Okay. Let's say I identify this block. Okay, right. So what will they do? They will definitely follow the previous block. They just try to pretend that we hate this block. We don't want to follow this block. Okay, right? Okay, they will follow the previous block. Still follow the previous block. Right. So all the people follow the previous block. So that means what? That means my block is useless. I cannot get it recognized in the world. So even I can identify the solution, I cannot get the reward. Because sooner my block will not be in the long chain. Right. Okay, again, so all the people in the world, they build in, right? They will believe the long chain, right? So this will not happen. Okay. Because they're hard coded, right? They will not hit one anonymous node, right? So here we don't know, right? This is like nodes are everywhere, right? So if people follow the policy, this will not happen. So people will follow me. Okay. This is the right way to go. They will not follow the previous one. If they hate me, they do not follow me, then my transaction, my block will be orphaned, will be ignored. So,
Even if you're right?
Hmm?
Even if you're right?
Okay, so there's two things. Let me try to clarify this. So regularly, in general, if I find a solution, I publish that, so they will follow me. Okay. So mine will be recognized by the whole system. Okay. I just say, let's assume this is like an artificial situation. So people hate this money pool, for example. Right? People really hate this money pool because the money pool IP address is known, right? People simply hate that. It's because some like miners, they are malicious. They did a very bad thing. People hate that. If they identify this block, and the entire world want to fight with this money pool, okay, they will simply like not follow this guy. They will try to ignore whatever their effort had. Okay. So the entire world, the good people can, but this will not happen. In general, they will not
Won't happen.
Yeah. I hope you guys didn't get confused. Sorry, my friend.
And in the sake of simplicity, it has happened already in the Bitcoin chain has hard forked many times already.
Okay.
So this is already happened in Bitcoin.
Okay.
And that's where you do Bitcoin.
Okay, yeah, this is true, right?
Yeah.
The scenario is true. Okay.
Also,
It's
that's
not
the-
artificial.
That's the Bitcoin Cash deal? Is that-
So if we're talking specifically about Bitcoin and the proof of work model and the forking blockchains, yes, it has happened because there are people,
Okay,
like
isn't-
you said, the miners who are following a different hash function that agreed to do something differently, like change the transaction times. So somebody wants to be faster in the blockchain for Bitcoin, so lowering that T value to accomplish some goal. And then they've got miners who all of a sudden start working on that blockchain in conjunction with the normal Bitcoin blockchain, but those are now two separate chains.
And so when they forked off, those miners that forked off, made more money? Or was that their goal? It's like, okay, we're gonna fork off, we'll solve this this issue quicker, so we can, you know,
So like talking about blockchains in terms of money is very difficult because money is made up.
or
So,
just, I'll just say, value, or, you know,
Sure.
the benefit. They get a
yeah.
credit for the benefit.
So, since they're processing both forks, they are generating value on both fork lines.
Yeah, also depends on the price in the market. Right? If the fork happened, if people lose the confidence in the system, then the overall price going down, then the total
Well,
value will
well,
go
I'm
down.
like, what, I thought, because I'm saying, I'm sitting here, I'm a minor, right? I'm a smart guy, what have you, smart girl, and I say, you know something, I can do this faster, I can do this better. What I'm gonna do is I'm, you know, go my own direction, I'll, you know, get the benefit from this one, and the benefit from this one, and that's the reason why I'm forking off, is for the benefit of solving the problem, so I can, you know, get more coin, or whatever, I keep on saying money, but it's like you're saying money, you know, the concept, right? But, you
I
know.
think the problem is that you need to convince everyone else to follow you.
Exactly.
If no one is following you, then that's it, that's what kills it. And I think part of, I think what you're saying, or at least my understanding is that why people don't do it is because, so even though you haven't solved the previous problem, but you want to start on the next one as soon as possible, and his solution will be your pointer. So that's why it's good for you, like as long as solution is found, then you're getting a pointer and you can start on a new problem. Maybe you win the new one. And so that's, it's my understanding, that's why it will be accepted very quickly and no one will start, you know, introducing their own forks.
Okay.
Because you want to say, okay, yeah, that's solution, but he won this time, I'll maybe win next time. So, but I want to start on a new one as soon as I can.
So then why did the big cash, you know, fork off?
Because they're looking for different outcomes. So,
Yeah.
so Bitcoin is functioning off of its own algorithmic processes, which dictates like the transaction time, when blocks are released, how miners get paid off of that. And to change any of those variables, you need to create a whole separate chain. So when it forks,
There are many reasons. It's like a family, you know, right? My brother and I, if we feel live with each other like not comfortable, then we decide to separate. It's like the same here.
What, I guess, because when I look at things, and maybe it's just telling my age, right? Generally, people do things for benefit. You know,
Yeah.
especially if it's a heavy lift, it's not enough for me not to like you.
True.
to Go
But-
go that far, matter of fact.
You have to convince enough people to follow you. That's the key.
And so,
Exactly.
that cash, to that big cash, it was, the reason why was for them to benefit and not so much a matter of them just trying to find or do it differently. Because if you can find the reason why, then you can.
Sometimes people do different things differently because they believe in that. It does not necessarily lead to benefit.
Yeah. It's like in the world why we have countries, right? So I guess it's really about the governance. So
It's really about money.
I don't know.
It's about money. A lot of times it boils down to cash, or not cash, or
Yeah,
gold, or
okay,
whatever
anyway.
it is, you know.
No, but sometimes it's pure beliefs.
It's challenge.
Like Russian Revolution and belief in Karl Marx. I don't know why the hell they believe it, but they believe it. They killed the country many times, but they believe it.
Okay.
So economically, it made no sense whatsoever.
Well, they kept them in power and they kept them rich.
No, a few people got
I'm
rich.
talking about the dictator.
Yeah,
He keeps me
yeah.
in power, he keeps me rich.
Yeah.
That's the reason why I do it.
Okay. Okay, enough. Let's turn to
Enough politics, yeah.
let's turn to this side. Okay, so the security. So basically, all players in the Bitcoin system they will follow the long chain. Okay. And to make the system secure, we actually need some assumptions. Okay, the network should be what in our language is synchronized. The network delay cannot be huge. So basically, the network should not be split. If China decided that, oh, we have a great firewall, whatever, stop all these kind of transactions, then there will be like two chains. Okay, one inside China, the remaining in the world will have another chain. So, if we want to stick with one chain, then we need some assumption. The network must be good. Okay? And there's a second assumption. So the majority of the mining power should be good. Okay. if the majority of mining power is bad, then they can do double spending. So should I explain that? I guess you guys just trust me. Let's turn to something else.
Sure.
Okay, remember in this solution, in Bitcoin solution, so people in the room, they're very quiet, I said, but they will be very busy, right? Because they want to identify the nonce. The only way to go is try, right? They work very hard. Right. Okay, what do they have? They have what? They have equipment, right? They have like a computing device. Right? That's something they got, right? So they can join the party. They work very hard. Okay, so now we have a new solution. Okay, if we, what it is, right? So this is a competition mechanism. So to make it simple, we have like a hash function, same as before. So this is a pointer to point previous block, and the people here need to identify a solution. Okay, and this is same as before. Okay. Remember, this is a puzzle, this solution. So the only way to go is people need to identify, like I will be able to identify a solution. So that way we have to work very hard, we will be very busy to get a solution. So here I want to bring you guys a quiet room and with lazy people. Okay, we don't need to work very hard. So people here just wait, okay, just to do some very basic check. So the room is very quiet and very people are in a good mood because we don't need to work very hard. So here, all the people in the room, they have to first deposit some money. Let's say deposit some like a green coin, okay? Some green coin. This is a deposit. And once they are deposited with a certain amount of coins, they are allowed to join the party. So the deposit can be observed by all the people. People know that, oh, you deposited. Oh, this guy did not deposit. This guy cannot join the party. Okay. Anyway, so there will be like let's say 10,000 like people or 1 million people in the room. They deposit the minimum amount of like green coin, for example. Okay, so each one will have a PK, public key, signing key. Verification key, the public key. Public key is the public string. Right. So now how to go? So this so now I want to like insert a little bit, right? I want to do this, right? You can see, right? So what is the solution, right? So here, so all the people in the room, they will first of all look at the clock. Okay. Tick, 1 second, right? Let's say it's the clock. Then they will check. They will check what? They will check. First, we will look at the long chain, okay, because it's pointed to the long chain, the last block. And then they will use their own. There's a public key, there's also a secret key for each digital signature. You guys know digital signature? Okay. Digital signature is something like for authentication, to authenticate the data. So people cannot impersonate you to sign some document. So here, the sigma is a signature. They're basically using signing key. Signing key in general we use SK. Signing key to sign what? To sign this. So every time I look at my clock, I will use my secret key sign, and I got this string PK and sigma. And then I will test: is this inequality good? Inequality holds or not? If it holds, then I will release the entire thing, not a secret key. I will release this pointer clock PK. This is a block. I simplify it a little bit. This is I'm focused on this curve. If I'm lucky, so this inequality will hold. I will release this to the world. Okay. Then you guys can easily check. Oh, it's good because you guys know my public key. You can easily check. Right. So now you know you guys see the difference, right? So the only thing I did is first sign, right? and then this evaluate the hash function. It's cheap, right? One-time evaluation. Okay, one-time signing is very cheap. I can use my cell phone to do that. Modern technology, we can do that. So remember